Hello, this is Caleb Barney, local real estate agent in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And I just wanted to go over this article from Keeping Current Matters titled, Why Access is So Important When Selling Your House. So this sometimes sounds obvious, sometimes it doesn't, especially when you're put in the position of being the seller and you don't want to be inconvenienced. But this article goes over why access is so important when selling your house. And realistically, it's because you want to be as accommodating as possible to these potential buyers when you are not under contract yet. When you're not under contract, our whole goal is to get under contract. So, yes, it might be inconvenient for you to have your home show ready on a consistent basis, but that's what needs to get done in order to basically provide the best showing experience for these buyers as possible. Also, sometimes buyers have weird schedules if they're working a different shift than you are, or a lot of buyers they want to see it in the evenings and weekends so they don't have to take off work to see a house that may or may not be the right fit for them. So you may be out of luck in that, hey, you have to come home, take the dogs with you, tidy up, get the kids out, or whatever the case may be. But just remember to keep your eye on the prize, which is getting your house under contract and then getting it sold. So, how I typically like to frame buying and selling is, a lot of buyers and sellers, they become very adversarial, and I'm not sure why. Yes, there is a negotiation period, but ultimately it comes down to the seller has their house on the market because they want to sell it, and you want to go see it and put in an offer because you want to buy it. So when it comes down to it, you really should be working toward that same common goal, which is selling your house if you're the home seller here. So there's a couple of different ways as far as allowing showings. Some of these don't really make the most sense, at least not here in Northeast Ohio, and they are very atypical. The most common is going to be the lockbox on the door, and that's just saying, hey, the key's available via lockbox, which makes it easier for agents to show the home to potential buyers. This gives the most flexibility because the key's on site and it's convenient. 99% of the time, this is what we're doing, unless it's a luxury listing and you want somebody that's representing you to be present whenever there's a showing. Lockbox on the door, whether you're using a Supra e-key or whether you're using a traditional lockbox, that's the most common. Providing a key to the home, that means that an agent would have to stop by an office to pick up the key with this option. I don't like doing that because, for example, our offices are accessed through keypad only, and we're not allowed to give out the keypad information to an agent that's not out of our brokerage. And really not supposed to do it at all, because in theory, if they should have the key code, then you're not supposed to give it out to anybody. So I don't like that because it does limit a lot of the times when that other agent can go and pick it up. And it might be really far out of the way for them too. My office right now is based out of Medina. And if, the agent lives in, the Cleveland area and it's a Cleveland listing of mine, why should they have to go all the way to Medina to pick up the key, to go to open up the house, and then to go back and drop off the key? Not only that, what if there's back-to-back showings or anything like that? So this one does not make sense in my opinion. Open access with a phone call, where you allow a showing with just a phone call's notice, which can be great for someone who sees your house while driving by. not a big fan of that because, as they imply here, for someone who sees your house driving by, okay, so if it's just a potential buyer, how are you vetting this person who's going into your home? Like, we want licensed agents who have been background checked, and they had to submit their fingerprints and everything like that before they could be licensed. I would feel much more comfortable going that route as opposed to just somebody driving by, seeing the sign, and calling. So that's why I don't like access with a phone call. And you could say, oh, well, what if it's the agent that's calling? Well, how are you verifying that agent is who they say they are, or that their license is current and active? Right now, we have appointments through showing time, and that agent would need to be licensed in order to access that. So that's why I'm not a big fan of this option either. By appointment only, this gives you a more advanced warning so you can get the house tidied up and be sure you have somewhere else you can go in the meantime. It's also a bit more restrictive. This is actually, we do by appointment only and with a lockbox on the door. Again, that's the common way of doing things here in Northeast Ohio. And then limited access. Some sellers do work odd schedules, or sometimes they're just not able to leave. Say they work from home and they're not able to leave their house at a certain time. So you might limit access on certain days or times or whatnot. So, but basically, what it says here is, bottom line, when it comes to selling your house, you want to make sure that you're getting as much buyer activity as you can. So if you do have limited access, or if you're turning down showings on a consistent basis, we're basically not letting buyers in to see your home. And then they'll either get frustrated, skip seeing your house altogether, or they'll find another house. So that's where we want to be as accommodating as possible. If you have any questions about the housing market in general, but more specifically, if you have any questions regarding the greater Northeast Ohio area, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.